I just watched your film earlier today, and I got to tell you, it surprised me how much I laughed. I thought it was very funny, and I know that black humor has always been a part of the series, but the humor seems to be a lot more on the surface in this one. Was that by design?
Absolutely, yeah. We want to go out with a bang, XXL style, and this film has the most black comedy in it, and I'm glad you see this. It's a very funny movie. At the same time, there are a lot of people that are extremely offended by it, but I very enjoy that you see the comedy of it.
Well, I do, and that's what I really appreciated about it, because, and I would imagine that a lot of people are so shocked by just the premise of the movie that they fail to see the comedy. But I think in those people, if they're tempted to watch it again, they're likely to catch up to the comedy on a second viewing.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
So, also, one of the major points that fascinates me about the film is the Dieter's performance. I mean, he is an absolute madman in this, and I'm wondering what it was like to work with him, because that seems like a performance that there's no such thing as going too far in that performance.
Absolutely. Dieter and I wanted to have a completely opposite role for him. When he did Dr. Hyde, he is very reserved, very medical, very meticulous, and this time we wanted a complete asshole. Who is a racist, who is abuses to women. He's an intense asshole, and so he just goes all the way for it. And we really made him like this, and it's very comical and very frightening at the same time, because you never know where the guy is going, and that was a lot of fun to make like this.
And you've also got Eric Roberts in the film. I watch Star 80, which is one of the great performances ever. Like once a year, I watch that film. What was it like to be in his presence?
Oh, brilliant! I was when I was casting, I was looking for the ultimate American actor with a slightly mean face and a great voice, and I immediately came to Eric Roberts because like you, I'm a big fan of his work. I saw a lot of movies, and I thought he would be the perfect governor. And we contacted him, and we Skyped him, and he was so enthusiastic. He knew about the Human Centipede films. He was a fan, and he read the script, and he said, "I absolutely want to be in your movie." So when he came on set, he loved our style of working, European crazy asses together. And he embraced it, and he went for it, and he gave a great performance.
Tell me about the setting of the movie, because the movie takes place at George H.W. Bush State Penitentiary.
Yes.
And so obviously it's kind of themed and has more American themes than the other two, possibly. But was there something that you wanted to express about this country?
I absolutely love your country, the glorious United States of America. I'm from Europe, of course, but we love American movies and your culture here. So we wanted to shoot in the United States. And, of course, we Europeans look at America via different glasses. So we hear a lot about Bush and Guantanamo Bay and the prison system in America. So I really wanted to make a film about punishment. So there would be no better place than do it on American grounds in an American way of filming. It's very Hollywood kind of style of filming, and so it was great to be a little satire on America in general.
And that's what these films, this genre of film, it can do. It can kind of put in these subversive political themes and not necessarily hit you over the head with it.
Absolutely. And some people only see the mouth to ass, and some people see also all those layers. And it's just what kind of viewer you are. So I embrace that. There are so many layers, and it's cool that you see that all.
And part of me is very, I know there's a lot of false outrage out there, people getting upset over nothing, and there's also a lot of apathy out there. But part of me is comforted by this series because it shows that just a simple idea still has the power to scandalize people.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious from you, what films in your life have had that effect on you?
Definitely Salo by Pasolini, the Italian filmmaker. It's an old film from the 70s. When I was a small kid, I watched that film, and I was very impressed and appalled at the same time by that movie. And then later on, I saw the Exorcist and The Shining, all icons in movie history, I think. So I'm very happy and honored that I created something for this generation now. Everybody is like talking about the Human Centipede. It's like part of pop culture, and the youth really grows up with this kind of things. And that's pretty cool.
This trilogy, it kind of references itself. Like in the second movie, he's inspired by the previous one, and in this movie, they're inspired by the previous two, and you play a role in it as well.
Yeah, well, my first idea, what you say, is to create a movie centipede. Each film can be literally connected. Part 2 begins where part 1 ends. So you have 1 4.5-hour movie. And the idea is that part 2 digests part 1, and part 3 digests part 2, and in the end, all that is left is shit, and the bad guy wins. And I like that idea very much. I think in America, American films, the bad guy never wins, only the good guys. And I think it's a great idea that the Human Centipede goes out with the bad guy winning, and the system, the evil system, winning in a way. So, I hope people get out of it that the pure value of being entertained, that you are safe in your chair, but what you see on the screen is so horrifying that you're very happy that you're in your chair, and at the same time people can see all those references to satire stuff, to other horror films. There are so many layers in the films that some people pick up and some people don't, and some do it after seeing like the films 3 times. And hopefully in 150 years people will still talk about these movies because they show something originality, and that's what a lot of films miss these days. If I see sequels, they're just copies of the first one and then usually done worse. And there are so many remakes. I think there's so many lack of originality these days. My only thing was, if I would make the other 2, they had to be completely different films and stand on their own with a whole different premise. So I think we succeeded in that.
Our listeners wanted to know what's in the pipeline for you. What kind of future projects you got going?
Yeah, sure. Well, we want to keep exploring the dark sides of humanity, so no romantic comedies for us. And we have so many original ideas that are not copies of other things. So we want to make pitch black comedies with horrific elements. And we're now working on a film that's called The Onania Club. I cannot say the details, what it's about, but I'm sure it will have like South Park copying it again or using it as parodies, because the premise is very original and upsetting again. And a lot of people will talk about this one.
Well, I just want to tell you, I think it would be great if Dieter was your Klaus Kinski.
That's great. Yeah. we are really compare us with those heroes. So that's a great compliment.
Absolute heroes. And my final question is, you're talking about other projects, and I'm really anxious to see anything else you come out with. But you've seen this in careers before, like something like a Romero. I mean, he's made other films outside of The Living Dead, but hasn't received quite the reception. Are you worried, since you've made such a splash with the Human Centipede trilogy, of kind of living in the shadow of these films?
Yeah. The thing is, I have so many original ideas. Of course, the Centipede will always be an important thing that will be connected to me. But the thing is, you have to create new things that really are so out there and so different than the Human Centipede that will get picked up as well. So I'm not really afraid of that, and I'm very proud to be the creator of the Human Centipede film. So if in 10 years people remember me from the Centipede, it's also fine. But I don't think so. I have more up my sleeve.